Dharmabytes is brought to you by Free Buddhist Audio, the Dharma for your life. Our work is funded entirely by donations from our generous listeners. If you would like to help us keep this free, make a contribution at freebuddhistaudio.com/donate. Thank you, and happy listening.
So I know from these and other experiences that if we can learn to pay the right sort of attention to the world around us and to the other people we live among, then we can make our experience vivid and alive and experience a form of happiness that I don't think most people even know is possible. But it's not easy. Firstly, we need to learn to pay attention. And crucially, we need to develop the habit of paying attention to the world around us. If we don't make it a regular habit, well, every now and then we may decide to pay attention to the real world, and we might do that for a while, but then there'll be long periods when we just forget. We just forget and we just go back into the world of mental proliferation. I remember once on an order convention, someone giving a talk about mindfulness, and I just remember one thing that she said. She said, "It's easy to be mindful, but it's difficult to remember to be mindful." And that is so true. It's so true. So we need to develop the habit of being mindful, because otherwise we won't remember to be mindful, or not very often. And as with any habit, we develop the habit of mindfulness by doing it over and over and over again until it becomes second nature. Daily meditation, of course, that's a big help. Daily meditation is a big help, especially if we take our meditation off the cushion with us when we start our day. Take our mindfulness with us as we start the day. We practice mindfulness every morning, maybe every other morning, hopefully. And it starts to be a habit. It starts to become a habit that we can get into easily. A few other suggestions. We could try putting some time aside, maybe an afternoon every week, when we give up our usual distractions, put them out there, and try and just look and listen and feel. That isn't always easy either, because our minds get addicted to stimulation. So maybe sometimes we need a halfway house or a few halfway houses rather than going cold turkey on input straight away. So perhaps we could set aside that afternoon, maybe start by some reading, read some Dharma, read some poetry, listen to some music, really listen to some music, or do some mindful physical activity to get our mind into a more fit state, then maybe meditate, and only then just practice the difficult art of paying attention to what is. Perhaps going for a walk and just looking, listening, just feeling the elements. And one thing I think is probably essential to getting into the habit of mindfulness is going on retreat every now and then. Going on retreat is something Buddhists do. I encourage you. We give ourselves periods away from our usual distractions, very annoyingly for some people. If you go to most Buddhist retreat centers, the first thing they do is take away a mobile phone and lock it up in a cupboard. So we take ourselves away from our usual distractions, and I suspect some people hide them. But anyway, take away our usual distractions, take ourselves away from our usual distractions, do more meditation than usual in a very conducive environment. And I think we need to do that because it takes, as I've said, can take our minds a few days to settle down, stop looking for input, so we get quite content just to enjoy our awareness rather than looking for distraction. So I think going on retreat and having a few days, a little while when we do that is really, really essential. And finally, on another suggestion about developing the habit of bringing mindfulness more into our lives, on what we call our urban retreats, invented in Sheffield, we suggest that people use reminders. Reminders could take all sorts of forms. Post-its we stick up on the mirror, screensavers on the computer, all sorts of things. Anything to just keep that in mind during our day so that we're reminded, we remember to be mindful. You can use all the creativity you can muster about that. People do some really weird things to do it. Like I'm going to painting their nails. Anyway, Even though they're not the sort of person you'd expect to paint their nails. Anyway, so that's the first reason it's not so easy to spend much time in this so enjoyable state of mindfulness. That's the first reason we have to develop it as a habit, because it's easy to be mindful, but it's hard to remember to be mindful. It needs to be a habit. It's hard to remember to be mindful. It's dead easy to get distracted. But the second reason it's difficult to spend a lot of time in that mindful state runs a bit deeper.
We hope you enjoyed today's Dharmabyte. Please help us keep this free. Make a contribution at freebuddhistaudio.com/donate. And thank you.